Welcome back to Fiercely Unfiltered. I'm your host, Kelly Renee. Today, I want to talk about Mother's Day. It's coming up on Sunday. My son's turning 22 on Friday, and it just brings back a lot of memories for me, a lot of good memories and a lot of painful memories. And it brings me back to how it all began. I had two boys, both 37 weeks to the day. They are 18 months apart. My story doesn't end with the skin to skin moment or the hallmark moment or the happy memories you think happen that come with childbirth. Mine came with anxiety, fear, strength, and unconditional love that I didn't know I had at the time. When my first son was born, I was 37 weeks. My water broke. I went to the hospital. It was one of the painful thing I've ever experienced. I thought I could deal with pain, but I was screaming so loud that the nurses were like, "You need to calm down. You're scaring the other patients." And I was like, "Well, then give me my fucking epidural." It was just taking forever. Both of my kids were born on an Army base, Madigan Army Medical Center in Fort Lewis, Washington. Was born with his umbilical cord around his neck. They said push, his head came out. He wasn't breathing. The cord was around his neck. They had to rip him out of me. And then they had to rush him to NICU. It's intensive care for babies. I didn't get to hold him. I didn't get to see him. I sat there, ripped open. They had to stitch me up. I had an epidural, so they wouldn't let me leave until I could move my legs. So it was a few hours before I even got to go see my baby. Sitting there, not knowing and waiting to even be able to go see your child for your firstborn is an experience I can't really explain. The good thing about the birth of my first son is he improved. It was just a umbilical around his neck. He wasn't breathing, had some fluid in his lungs, but he improved every day. He stayed in intensive care for about 10 days. I didn't get a breastfeed or anything right away. I had to stay up in my own room, pump, go visit him when I can. And I got to bring him home. So that was the best scenario that could have happened. For my second son, who's also 37 weeks to the day, when I had him, I called the hospital ahead of time. I'm on my way in, get the epidural ready. Because let me tell you, I don't understand why some women choose not to get it. Like, it's an experience. I was in such pain. And then minutes after I got that epidural, I was taking a nap and waiting for the nurse to wake me up to tell me to push. Just straight chaos and misery to being able to enjoy the moment of being in labor and having my son. So the second time, it wasn't even a question for me. I was getting an epidural. So this time I was able to get it sooner. So I wasn't scaring the other patients. But this time my son, they said, push as hard as you can. I think it took two pushes to get him out. Both my sons were like 7 pounds, 7 ounces. I think it was 7 hours from the time I went in the hospital to the time I had both of them. With my second one, when he came out, he was having problems with his oxygen. I didn't even get skin to skin with him. They took him straight to NICU also. But with him, he wasn't getting better. He had the oxygen mask over his head, or the dome they put over babies' heads, and he had to keep that there. And every time they tried to remove it, couldn't keep his oxygen level up. It kept getting worse. So it was terrifying. They had to move him into a private room because the stimulation and stuff was too much for him and he couldn't handle it. And then at one point, they told me that me being in that private room with them, he was reacting to my presence and that it was too much for his system and that I wasn't allowed to go see him anymore. So that was an experience in his own. I was upstairs in my room. I couldn't breastfeed. I couldn't see him. I had an 18-month at home. And at that point, I was like, why am I even at the hospital? So I made the decision to leave the hospital without my baby. He was in NICU with nurses. My presence was hurting his progress. So I had to stay away for that, which was one of the hardest things. When I was at home, I would call for updates. And one time I called for an update and the nurse said, I think you should come back. He's doing worse. We're not sure if he's going to make it through the night. That moment was scary because I was in the NICU with my last child, and some babies don't go home. Some babies don't make it. So I already got the miracle with my first baby. And now it was my second, almost the same situation, both lung problems, both having problems breathing. But this time it wasn't the situation from before. I was expecting for him to get better, but he wasn't. He was getting worse. So I hung on. I tried to do everything I can to stay positive, but life is so precious. Like, you don't understand how precious it is until you're fighting for a life that just began. So I think he was in for 10 days, finally got better, improved. His oxygen levels went up, and he was able to come home too. So both of my kids started life fighting, and they're still fighting. We haven't had the easiest life, but with my youngest about to turn 22, it really makes me look back at everything and how time goes so fast. And how you want to see your kids grow up, but you also want to see them stay small. But I have to say, for my son who's turning 22 on Friday, I'm so proud of him. He is an EMT, and he's going to school to become a firefighter. He's working every day. He's taking the steps, the classes he needs to achieve the goals he wants. And I'm also very proud that during the hardest storms and chapters of our life, when I was going through my own turmoil and I couldn't be there for him, he didn't turn to bad things to numb him. He actually turned to church. He joined a men's group. He started going to church. He got baptized as a young adult, I think in 2021. I didn't even know he got baptized. He did this all on his own. So to know that at least he was raised enough to know that when you're having hard times, lean into your faith into God, because he's always there for you, even when your parents aren't or they can't. So happy birthday, Jacob. Thank you for making me a mom for the second time. I'm proud of the man you're becoming, and I'm proud of the relationship we're building. You truly are an inspiration for me. I'm so proud of you. And he also has decided that he's going to try and learn something new every day. He doesn't know how to change a tire or his oil, because who teaches you that? So he's going to teach himself. He doesn't have a father figure in his life right now to teach him these things. And I'm sorry for that. He has two fathers, but neither of them are involved right now. So I'm here for you, whatever you need. And actually, he called me just the other day and said, Mom, guess what? I'm moving July 1st. He has to be out of his place. And he's either moving to New York or Los Angeles. And I was like, well, that's great. But those are two way different locations. I'm praying for Los Angeles. He hasn't made his decision yet. And whatever he decides, I'm proud of him. Both those locations are where the next school is he needs to go to. I think it's a 10-month school. So him and one of his friends are going to move out there while he goes to this school, gets a different job while he makes it through the school. So proud of you. I know you're going to make it. And I want to talk about C-sections, epidurals. I know everyone judges everybody on how they decide to have kids. I know I kind of feel judged that I had an epidural because I'm not as tough as other people, but I don't need to go through pain to have a badge to be a mother. I'm a mother no matter if I had an epidural or not. I actually was listening to a podcast the other day and I heard someone say that a C-section isn't really childbirth. When I thought about it for a second, I was like, oh, that's kind of mean. But then I thought about it for like 30 seconds and I go, that's actually true. When you have a scheduled C-section, it's surgery with an extraction of a baby, actually. So it's really not the same. But if you're one of those people that went through hours of labor and then had to have an emergency C-section because you couldn't push the baby out, you experienced both sides. So I say all these moms who aren't getting epidurals, I just don't understand what you're trying to prove. I don't know if it's just like, I want to see if I could do it. I don't know if there's like a cash award people are getting for doing it. I'm not sure, but I would never have a child without epidural. I don't want to choose pain just because. I rather enjoy the experience. I'm telling you, it's two completely different experiences with an epidural and without. And childbirth in itself is so scary and fragile that any extra stress or pain that I didn't have to have, I didn't want to have. I was terrified going into my second childbirth because of how my first one went. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much you stress over something, what's going to be is what's going to be. And I don't know why me becoming a mother wasn't a hallmark moment. And it started with me having strength and courage and faith and believing that everything was going to work out. But no matter how you became a mother, no matter if you adopted or whatever, mother is about loving someone and being there for them and loving them unconditionally and guiding them through life and just trying to make their time on this earth as best as it could be. And that's what I want to do for my kids. Caleb, he's in Oregon. I don't see him. He's my oldest, but I love both of you. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I know you all are doing a better job than you probably think you are. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your kids. And they grow up fast. And it's crazy how some of the best memories are so vivid, but kind of foggy. And I don't want to forget all the memories when they were younger. But let me tell you, the chapter I'm in now with me and my son that lives next to me for the time being, and us golfing and hanging out and talking. It's just a different relationship with your child while they're growing. So till next time, guys, enjoy your Mother's Day. Happy birthday, Jacob. I love you. I love you, Caleb. Till next time.